India currently ranks 11th on the Open Doors World Watch List 2025 for Christian persecution. The ranking reflects a complex reality of growing systemic hostility, legal restrictions, mob actions, and institutional discrimination. While countries like North Korea, Somalia, and Yemen take the top 3 spots, India still stands among the most challenging places in the world to live out the Christian faith freely. In recent years, India has witnessed a worrying rise in incidents of religious intolerance and violence against Christians. While the country is constitutionally secular and guarantees religious freedom under Article 25 of its constitution, the ground reality paints a grim picture, especially for Christian minorities, particularly in certain states. Several independent watchdogs and human rights organizations have raised concerns. In 2023 and 2024, Open Doors International, a global NGO that tracks Christian persecution, ranked India among the top 10 worst countries for Christians, noting a steady increase in both state-sponsored and mob-driven attacks. Here are a few notable examples and events that illustrate this rising trend. 1. Chhattisgarh nuns arrest case, 2025. As highlighted recently, 2 Catholic nuns, Preeti Mary and Vandana Francis, were arrested at Durg railway station along with a tribal woman, following accusations of forced religious conversion and trafficking. The case was initiated on a complaint filed by a Bajrang Dal member, and although the woman later testified that she willingly traveled with the nuns and had not been coerced, the arrest sparked national outrage. She also claimed she was pressured and even physically assaulted to give a false statement against the nuns. This case is emblematic of the broader pattern of Christians being falsely accused under anti-conversion laws. 2. Manipur violence, 2023 to 2024. Manipur saw one of the most horrifying waves of targeted violence in recent memory. Over 200 churches were burnt or vandalized, and Christian families, mainly from the Kuki-Zo tribal communities, were displaced or killed. The violence, initially rooted in ethnic conflict between the Meitei and tribal communities, soon took on a communal nature, targeting Christians disproportionately. Rights groups termed it a pogrom-level assault on a religious minority. 3. Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh crackdowns, ongoing. Both states have enacted and aggressively enforced anti-conversion laws. These laws, while claimed to prevent forced conversions, have often been misused to arrest Christian pastors and laypersons engaged in prayer meetings or social work. In many cases, simple acts like distributing Bibles or praying for the sick have been criminalized based on unverified allegations. In 2024 alone, over 100 pastors were arrested in Uttar Pradesh under suspicion of inducing conversion. 4. Jharkhand, attacks on tribal Christians. In Jharkhand, Adivasi, tribal. Christians have increasingly become targets. Mob attacks on Sunday services, threats to renounce Christianity, and social boycotts in villages have been reported frequently. In 2023, a Christian family in Simdega district was lynched after refusing to partake in tribal rituals incompatible with their faith. 5. Karnataka church survey and vandalism. In late 2022 and early 2023, the Karnataka government ordered a controversial statewide survey of churches and pastors, widely seen as an intimidation tactic. Around the same time, multiple churches in Bengaluru and Mangaluru were vandalized by fringe groups claiming they were illegal religious structures. The bigger picture. These are not isolated incidents. They are part of a larger pattern fueled by political polarization, militant nationalism, misinformation about conversions, complicity or inaction by local law enforcement. Christians, who make up about 2.3% of India's population, often work in grassroots education, healthcare, and tribal welfare, making them visible and vulnerable targets in rural areas. The persecution they face ranges from verbal abuse, social ostracization, and physical assault to false legal charges. India, long celebrated for its religious diversity, is at risk of undermining its pluralistic fabric. When institutions meant to protect the rights of minorities are manipulated or turn a blind eye, the consequences are grave, not just for Christians, but for the idea of India itself. If the current trajectory continues, India may well become the world's most severe place to be a Christian outside of conflict zones.